Hi, welcome back to WOW, the Wealth Optimization Workshop. Scott Collier, Call Dog, delighted to have you back. Touching on the fun stuff of your financial planning here, the controllable priorities. One of the key assets, most significant financial assets that people often own in their life. Home ownership, something that people aspire to. Once they actually own a home, they're often focusing on how do I pay down my mortgage quicker. I want to put out there right now, I am not a mortgage broker. I'm a certified financial planner, licensed in many aspects of financial services, but I am not a mortgage broker. So I do recommend when purchasing a home, work with a qualified mortgage broker or mortgage specialist. So lots of people to talk to. Personally, I've had a relationship with National Bank for many years. One of the things that I want to point out is some key principles around your home ownership. So something that people often aren't aware of, the home buyer's plan. We'll touch more about this again in the RRSP section on retirement planning, but you can use your RRSPs for the home buyer's plan. Obviously you can save money through a tax-free savings account or other savings vehicles as well for your down payment, but for first-time home owners, they can take up to $25,000. If it's a couple, $25,000 each out of their RRSPs, tax-free, to put towards their down payment. The one condition is they must put 1/15 back each year over 15 years. If they don't, they would be taxed as income on that money. So for example, if you withdrew $15,000 for your down payment, you would need to repay $1,000 each year over 15 years to stay on side from a tax perspective to keep that withdrawal tax-free. 5% versus 20% down. Generally speaking, you're going to need a minimum of 5% down on your home purchase. But if you can do it with 20% or more down on your home purchase, it can allow you to avoid the CMHC fees. This is default insurance that's required for loans that are below the 20% threshold. When we look at things, amortization versus the term, okay? So your amortization typically is 25 years on a new mortgage, but there's different amortization lengths, so how long until it's all paid off versus term length, meaning how long do you have a guaranteed interest rate or a guaranteed scenario for that structure of the mortgage. So you can have a 1-year mortgage, a 10-year mortgage, but typically most common is 5-year. Should you have a variable interest rate or a fixed interest rate? Obviously, matter of opinion there. When we look statistically, people with variable rates end up further ahead and mortgage-free sooner on average. However, excuse me, we are in a rising interest rate type of environment recently. So then often people are looking at options to have a fixed rate where they can lock in that payment at a reasonable interest rate before the rates rise. Keep in mind from an affordability perspective though, if 5 years from now interest rates ended up being a lot higher than they are currently, can you still afford that mortgage payment? One of the things we're seeing, especially in the expensive markets, people are buying bigger and bigger homes, more and more debt around their home, and that can devastate the rest of your financial plan. So keep those things in mind. One thing we recommend for people, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly payments. In general, a weekly or bi-weekly payment, this allows you to make 52 weekly payments in a year or 26 bi-weekly payments versus if you were paying monthly, you'd only be making 12. When you pay weekly or bi-weekly, it ends up making a 13th monthly payment each year, and that 13th monthly payment goes right off the principal with no interest attached to it. So it allows you to become mortgage free typically about 4 years faster by paying weekly or bi-weekly instead of monthly. Hope that makes sense to you. Keep in mind your principal residence tax-free. So even when you both pass on, you wanted to leave the house to the kids, grandkids, that is a tax-free inheritance. However, if you own cottages, rental properties, businesses, other types of investments, you're going to experience capital gains issues on those types of scenarios. So the principal residence being tax-free is a great feature. One thing to mention as well, there's now in the last decade or so things called all-in-one accounts, where you can blend your mortgage, your other high interest payments. It improves your cash flow, gives you more flexibility than a traditional mortgage. It isn't the right fit for everybody, but for some people that can be a great option to look at, an all-in-one mortgage and debt type of plan. So that would be something to talk to a mortgage broker as well. Ultimately, from a financial planning perspective, our goal is to, one, help you reach the goal of home ownership if that's important to you. Once you reach that goal, that you become mortgage free as quick as reasonable, and that you get to create value or wealth through owning that home the same way you would with other major financial assets. Hope that makes sense. Look forward to talking to you more. Take care.